Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought of doing something that's very common on Instagram stories where it's this or that type of game where you pit two things that are kind of similar or just two items, and then you know what I'm talking about. I feel like a lot of luxury Instagrams that I follow, they always put that on their stories, just kind of gauge. I mean, to me it's pretty fun when you get a pick and then you kind of get to see like the majority rule. So I thought I would do this with questions that I get a lot in my DMs of people asking me, between this and this, what would you pick? I just want your opinion, da 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 da. So I thought we could just go through it. Basically the most common asked questions that I get on people that ask me for my opinions on certain bags and certain canvases. The majority of this is Louis Vuitton related, but I threw in some other common ones that I feel like people would be deciding between. So hopefully you guys find this video helpful. If you guys disagree with me, that's completely fine, but yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so just to get the ball rolling, one of my most common questions on my Instagram DMs is, if I were to get the Alma BB again, would I get it in the damier bean or the monogram? Or if basically if you're wanting to get the Alma BB and you're trying to decide between the two. I'm just a monogram girl at heart, so I love my monogram Alma BB. However, I actually do recommend other people getting the Alma BB in the damier bean, just because it's a lot easier to use, because it's not made with the fresh vachetta. Like, you don't have to worry about if you get watermarks, if you take it out in the rain, like the water will just come off. Like, you can just wipe it and it's fine. Like, you don't see any of that stainage. And on top of that, I feel like the Alma BB and the damier bean, you can dress it up and you can dress it down. So I don't regret getting mine in monogram at all, but if you guys were debating between the two and this is maybe your first bag or something like that, then I actually would recommend you getting the Alma BB in the damier bean. Okay, so the next one is going to be the Battle of the Totes. So it's going to be the Dior book tote in small, we're not going to go with the large one, and the on the go tote in the size. So I love my Dior book tote. I love that you can personalize it. I love that there's so many different designs, but in terms of usability, practicality, what I want you to put your money into, I would actually go with the on the go tote instead of the Dior book tote, only because I feel like it's a lot more user friendly. And I mean, obviously monogram is still loud, but I feel like the Dior book totes, especially in the oblique prints, are extremely loud in terms of brand, and the LV one is a little more subdued. Price point wise, the on the go tote, obviously depending on if you get the canvas or the leathers, but in general it is a little bit cheaper than the Dior book totes. And my favorite thing about the on the go tote is that not only does it come with the handles, but it comes with a long shoulder strap that just, I feel like, makes it so much easier. I really want an on the go tote. I'm just waiting for them to come out with a PM size in either a cool print or in the reverse mono. I'm just waiting. But yeah, so between the Dior book tote and the on the go I would definitely recommend you guys to get the on the go I think you'll just love it. I mean, again, I don't own it, but I've seen it in person, I've tried it on. Oh my god, it's amazing. That strap though literally changes the game, and I like how it's a lot more flexible than the Dior book tote. The Dior book tote is very structured. I feel like it's not as easy to use, it's not as everyday friendly as the Louis Vuitton on the go tote, because it's in general, if it's made with canvas or even the empreinte leather, it's a lot more flexible. Like, you can, you know. Alrighty, so next is the Nano Speedy versus the Speedy BB. Guys, you guys know how much I love my Nano Speedy. I went through treacherous and waters to get that bag, okay? The patience was crazy, and then all of a sudden they did me dirty like that. Louis Vuitton, they released a Speedy BB in empreinte leather. Are you kidding me right now? I would pick the Speedy BB, honestly. I love my Nano Speedy, but that Speedy BB is so cute. The fact that it's in all leather, and on top of that, I've seen so many videos on it, the amount of space that that bag can hold in terms of its size. I just feel like the size of the Speedy BB is a perfect mini bag. The Nano Speedy, I've said it before, it's pretty annoying to get in and out of that bag when you're looking for stuff and you're like in a rush. You really have to like scoop inside of the bag, okay? But the Speedy BB just looks it's a little bit bigger, and it's a lot more flexible because it's made of leather, and I just love everything about it. Even the fact that it has that black tag with the gold LV on it. Oh, so cute. The only thing I kind of don't really like is the chain that comes with it. It's kind of this round goldish black chain, and I mean, it goes with the bag, but I don't know how I would want it different. But I wish the chain was a little bit different. but that's just something small. But yeah, if you're choosing between the Nano Speedy and the Speedy BB, both of those bags very hard to get. But if you're able to see the Speedy BB in store, I would just get the Speedy BB, honestly. And I think I saw online somewhere that they have a brown version of it. I mean, the black one is still way cuter, but you have an option, you have brown. So okay, so the next bag is, if I had to choose between the Palm Springs Mini and the Bum bag. So if you're choosing between these two bags, I honestly would just pick the Palm Springs Mini. I love my Bum bag, but if you only want to get one of them, I really think you're going to get cost per wear out of the Palm Springs Mini. The only way I would say to choose the Bum bag is if, let's say, you're splitting it with your significant other, because the Bum bag is pretty unisex. So if your boyfriend or your husband wants to wear it and be, you know, trendy, you could totally get the Bum bag and you guys split it. You save half the cost. He can use it, you can use it. It's like a shared bag. But if it's just for you, I would definitely pick the Palm Springs Mini. I love how versatile the Palm Springs Mini is. Yes, the Bum bag does hold more, but I just feel like you can style the Palm Springs Mini so much better and easier. It could be dressed up, dressed down. Love that it can be worn as a crossbody and not just as a backpack. I actually like to wear the Palm Springs Mini as a crossbody more than a backpack. So okay, so sticking on with the Palm Springs Mini trend. So another question that I get asked a lot is, if you were to get the Palm Springs Mini, if they should get the reverse mono or if you should get the monogram. So this is my answer for everyone. It's always the same. So if you want the monogram Palm Springs Mini but they only have the reverse mono in store, do not settle for the reverse monogram. Do not, because you're just gonna regret it. So reasons why I think you should pick the reverse is, one, if you already own the PSM in mono, okay, get the reverse. Or if you want a bag that isn't as common, because I know a lot of people decide decisions like that where they don't want a bag that everybody else has. So if you want that type of reasoning, go with the reverse mono. For my personal opinion, I don't know why, but I just feel like the regular mono matches with more, because the shade of brown in the reverse mono, I feel like it's actually a little bit more, I don't want to say harder to match with, but I don't know, just styling, because it's kind of a bright brown taupey color, not taupe, but a bright caramel color. It's a little bit harder, whereas the mono is very neutral, especially with the black too. It's very, very easy. It goes with everything. So yeah, between the two, I would pick the monogram for sure. However, if you already own the PSM in mono and you want another one, I would get the monogram. I really would. But off topic, because I already have the PSM, if I were to ever get a bigger backpack in the future, let's say for travel and just be like a bougie traveler, I would get the Palm Springs PM backpack, so it's the bigger size, in the reverse. But I wouldn't want the PSM in reverse and mono, if that makes sense. But the reverse is cute, don't get me wrong, I think it's very cute. I love reverse mono. Just in the PSM, I think I would just go for monogram. Okay, so next, two bags are very similar, compared all the time. It is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull versus the Goyard St. Louis Tote. I've talked about this before. I really wanted the St. Louis Tote before, especially in green or even like that bright cheddar yellow color. But the reviews on the Goyard Tote just pains my heart. I think the Goyard Tote, I don't know about now, but maybe 4 or 5 years ago back, the Goyard Tote is actually cheaper than the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I mean, I think at one point or another Louis Vuitton was cheaper, but Louis Vuitton's price increase have been a little bit crazy. Anyways, so Goyard is actually known, the St. Louis Tote specifically is known, the corners on the bag, if you use it a lot, and most people use Neverfulls every single day, the corners wear and they break the canvas, and on top of that, the straps on the bag do crack as well. I have my Neverfull and I've had it for over 10 years and I have no, I mean, it's dirty, there is wear and tear on it, but in terms of physical wear and tear, there's none. If you look at the corners of my bag, there's nothing is broken, nothing is ripped, it's just dirty, right? Like it just needs to be wiped down. And then in terms of the actual strap handles as well, there's no cracking, no nothing on any of my handles of any of my Louis Vuitton bags. And like the vachetta leather is strong, it's really mighty, it doesn't even look like it's about to be cracked. And I abused my Neverfull, whereas I've seen people that have had the Goyard St. Louis Tote, and yes, aesthetically it's super cute. I love that you can get it in tons of colors, and it is a lot more special than a Louis Vuitton Neverfull just because you don't see it as much. But the fact that the quality is not there, that I've seen people use the St. Louis Tote for maybe 3 to 5 years and it's ripping, actually ripping, that is not okay. not okay at all. No. So that's really the reason why I got put off. So in terms of style aesthetic, I would go with the Goyard, but if you want something to really like last through the times, like not just a once in a while tote bag, special occasion type of bag, if you want an everyday tote between the two, I would go with the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Just in terms of physically, I feel like the Neverfull will just stand the test of time. I don't know about the newer Louis Vuitton bags now, just because I know a lot of people say that the quality has gone down, but my Neverfull is dirty, but it's still going strong. Still going strong. So the next bag is the YSL Lulu bag, so it's between the toy and the small size. I personally don't like the toy. I think the size looks cute, but I really don't like that on the toy Lulu the entire strap is leather. I'm not against to all leather straps, it's just on the Lulu bag I feel like, one, YSL is just something about the hardware and the chains on YSL, it's very signature YSL. So if the toy Lulu had leather and then chain, I think it would be super cute. I feel like it would be a deadlock neck and neck. It would just really depend how small you want to go. But if you're talking about the toy Lulu just as is with the full leather strap versus the small Lulu with the what is it, the leather and then the chain, then I would just go with the small one. I think aesthetically it looks so nice with the chain. It looks so just elegant and edgy. I love the look of the YSL Lulu bag. I'm definitely thinking of adding it in the future as like a very casual everyday bag, but not anytime soon. But yeah, I really like the YSL Lulu bag. So between the two, I would go with the small. And then transitioning from YSL to Chanel, so this is a very common comparison that I get. So between the YSL, I don't know if is it the Lulu puffer or is it called the YSL puffer bag, I don't know a lot about Saint Laurent to be honest, versus the Chanel 19. I would pick the Chanel 19. I don't even want to say I'm biased. One, the Chanel 19 has a lot more colors, and so a lot of people, the main reason why people compare the two is obviously because of like the squishy texture. The YSL puffer bag is extremely soft. Don't get me wrong, super buttery soft. I felt it in person, but you don't get a lot of options with that bag. You don't get a lot of hardware options. You don't get a lot of color options. I think they have maybe like 3 colors. Most common one is like the black or maybe like a charcoal gray, I don't remember. Whereas the Chanel 19, you get more options. Obviously the price difference is crazy, but I would still pick the Chanel 19 because you have a lot more size options too. You have like 3 because you can get it in the small, the large, and then the maxi flap, and then on top of that you can get it in the shiny goat skin. And I actually just recently tried the Chanel 19 in the lamb skin, and oh my gosh, the Chanel 19 lambskin is crazy soft, like crazy soft, way softer than even my Chanel boy is in lambskin. So beautifully soft. So yeah, I would pick the Chanel 19. I really want to add a small white Chanel 19 into my collection. So I mean, if you really want like a puffy type of bag and you have the time to save up for it, I would recommend saving up for the Chanel 19. But if you don't really like Chanel anymore or you're sick of their price increases, go with the YSL puffer. Just know that you don't have as many design options. Okay, so we only have 3 more comparisons left and it's all Chanel related. So the first really common question is between the Chanel medium flap and the Chanel flap in small. So it's the classic flaps, obviously. So I actually don't own the small flaps, but I have seen it in store and I've seen so many pictures online. And I personally like the medium more. Obviously the medium is more expensive, but if we're disregarding price, I just feel like the medium is just the quintessential Chanel size. It just looks, the ratio of it is just perfect, whereas the small is a lot like this way and a little bit higher from what I've seen, whereas the medium, I don't know, I just feel like it just lays the body really well. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I know some people, what was it, this YouTuber that I really like, I actually don't know her name, but her YouTube handle is like Black and Gold's Luxury. She lives in Singapore, but I love her videos. Her Chanel flap collection is crazy, like it's beautiful. Like she has like a rainbow. I'll put a picture of the, like a clip of her video, and I love her video, super recommend it. She's like she looks super chill, and her favorite is actually the small size, but I love the classic flap in medium. I definitely want to add a black medium classic flap, but I do eventually want to add a small classic flap in my collection. But between the two, if we're disregarding price just on aesthetic, I would go for the medium. Not only is it just super classic, but I just feel like it just lays against your body so well. And Lisa has a medium black classic flap, so obviously we need to have a medium classic flap. Okay, so next is between the Chanel classic flap in jumbo and then the Chanel 19 in the large size. So I do have both of these bags. I have it in the orange 19 and in the jumbo. I just don't really want to take it out right now, but I do have both of them. And I mean, the price difference is crazy. It's like a $2,000 price difference between these two bags. But I mean, I've read a lot of reviews on other people's opinions too, and if you're going for an everyday use, I would recommend getting the 19. I love my Chanel 19 in the large size. I feel like I've seen it on the resale markets. The jumbos sell a lot cheaper than the medium classic flaps actually, and on top of that, I feel like I've seen a lot of luxury YouTubers and they sell their jumbos the most and they usually keep their medium classic flaps. I feel like a lot of people's complaints with the jumbos that it's too heavy. I personally don't find it too heavy. I do feel the weight of it, but I actually enjoy the weight of the bag. It just feels more luxe to me, and it doesn't dig in my arm. But then again, I don't stuff my bags that much. If you're choosing between those two, I would go with the Chanel 19. If you want to use it as an everyday, it's not a special occasion bag or anything like that, like you really want to get your cost per wear, I would go with the Chanel 19. It is cheaper, and on top of that, it is more everyday friendly. So yeah, and you get a lot more options, and it's cheaper. Did I say that it's cheaper? Because it's cheaper. Okay, so the last question I feel like is very controversial. Well, not controversial as in people get mad about it, but it's one of the most asked questions on like purse forums, is if you got a Chanel classic flap, let's just use black as just the baseline. If you got a Chanel classic flap in black caviar, would you get it with silver hardware or gold hardware? And I feel like most people answer in this is what they ask you to make you decide. They're like, well, what kind of jewelry do you wear? Do you wear more gold jewelry or silver jewelry? And I feel like that question, I mean, yeah, if you say gold, yeah, then go with gold. But I feel like it's a lot more, I don't know, different, because there's different reasons. So if we're talking about a black, so I want a black caviar medium flap with silver hardware, only because I have a beige jumbo with gold hardware, so I want something that's opposite. But I also want it in silver hardware because I feel like silver hardware isn't as common. I always see Chanel with gold hardware, and obviously that's like super classic Chanel, black and gold, of course. But so it's really depending on a multitude of factors. What bags slash hardwares do you already have? What are you looking to add into your collection? Yes, what kind of jewelry can you wear? But I honestly believe that, I mean, people could disagree with me, but I really don't think the hardware, like, I don't feel like you need to match the jewelry with the bag. I feel like if you wear gold hardware, I mean, if you wear gold jewelry and your bag has silver hardware, who cares? I really think that is like so dumb when they're like, you have to only wear this type of jewelry with this type of bag. No, if I have a $5,000 silver hardware bag and I'm wearing a gold ring, it's still gonna work, okay? It's still gonna work. I still think it's gonna look cute. I feel like another major thing is actually the color combination. Is that if you look at a bag, let's talk about Chanel colors for a second, right? If you see, let's say, a pink Chanel flap, or no, let's go with red. If you see a red Chanel bag and you see it with gold hardware and you see it with silver, which one to you speaks more? So sometimes for me, depending on the shade of red, I feel like red and gold looks a little too old, like a little too royalty-ish, right? Whereas red and silver looks a lot more fresh, it looks a lot newer. And a lot of people say that silver hardware is a lot younger, more modern, fresh, but it really just depends on the bag, honestly, because you can have a, let's say, a black Chanel GST tote with silver hardware and I don't think it looks young. I think it looks very classy, very nice, because it depends on the combination with the leather and the color of the leather as well, because you could have two of the same bags, but if one is caviar, one is lambskin, one is gonna look better with the silver, one's gonna look better with the gold. So there's a lot of different factors, I feel, instead of just what kind of jewelry do you wear, you know what I mean? I feel like it's a lot, not complicated, but it's a lot deeper than just that. But okay, so going back to the last question, so if you were to get a Chanel classic flap in silver or gold, I would pick gold because it's classic. I feel like you can match it with everything. I mean, silver I feel like goes with everything too, but I just feel like gold is classic Chanel. I mean, I still want a Chanel flap with silver hardware, but if I have to choose between only one of them, I would pick gold. Alrighty guys, so that is the end of today's video. I hope that was fun or somewhat interesting. I tried to not talk too long with each topic because I know some people think I kind of draw on too much, so I hope that helped a little bit. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want a part 2, just leave in the comments and I can do a part 2 of a this or that. But yes, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps support my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.